Hey friends, welcome to Knowledge Nest. They say respect is earned, not given. But what if I told you that with one simple mindset shift, no one will ever disrespect you again? This isn't about ego or dominance. It's about unlocking ancient wisdom that puts you in complete control of your mind, your emotions, and how the world sees you. Stay with me till the end, because once you understand this Stoic truth, you'll walk differently, speak differently, and people will treat you differently. Let's start. 1. Self-respect is the foundation. If you value yourself and act with dignity, others are less likely to treat you with disrespect. Stoics believe you cannot control others, but you can control your behavior, mindset, and boundaries. If you want to ensure that no one ever disrespects you, the first and most powerful principle you must embrace is self-respect. Stoic philosophy teaches that how others treat you often reflects how you treat yourself. When you carry yourself with dignity, confidence, and inner discipline, it sends a message to the world that you are not someone to be taken lightly. Self-respect isn't about arrogance or showing off. It's about knowing your worth, setting healthy boundaries, and refusing to compromise your values to please others. The Stoics believed that the only thing truly in your control is your own mind, your thoughts, actions, and choices. You cannot stop people from having opinions or behaving rudely, but you can decide whether to allow their actions to shake your foundation. When you deeply respect yourself, you don't chase validation, and you don't beg for attention. You stand firm in who you are, and that inner strength commands a different kind of energy, one that people recognize and often admire, even if they don't say it out loud. Self-respect also means not tolerating situations or relationships that diminish your value. If someone crosses the line repeatedly and you do nothing, you're silently giving them permission to continue. The Stoics weren't passive or weak. They were firm and principled. They taught that saying no is just as powerful as taking action. By setting firm boundaries without anger or drama, you make it clear that your peace and principles come first. And those who understand strength will learn to treat you accordingly. Another key idea in Stoicism is that you should never base your identity on external factors: money, looks, fame, or status. These things are fleeting, and if your self-worth is tied to them, it will rise and fall depending on circumstances. But when your respect for yourself is based on character, discipline, and virtue, it becomes unshakable. You no longer live at the mercy of other people's opinions. And ironically, the less you care about being liked or respected, the more people are likely to respect you. That's the paradox. Real respect is rooted in self-possession, not in performance. The person who needs nothing from others is the one others feel compelled to honor. 2. Indifference to insults gives you power. According to Stoic thinkers like Epictetus and Marcus Aurelius, insults have no power unless you assign meaning to them. Remaining calm in the face of disrespect robs the offender of control. One of the most powerful teachings in Stoic philosophy is the idea that insults and disrespect only have power over you if you allow them to. Epictetus, one of the great Stoic philosophers, said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This simple truth holds deep power. When someone disrespects you, their words or actions are just external events. What gives them weight is your internal reaction. If you let every insult or rude comment get under your skin, you're giving away control of your emotions to others. But if you choose to remain calm and indifferent, you keep that control for yourself. The Stoics believed that emotional mastery is the highest form of strength. When you are easily offended, it shows that you are still dependent on the approval of others. But when you can hear something disrespectful and remain unaffected, you show true mental toughness. That doesn't mean you ignore injustice or stay silent when necessary. It means you act from reason, not emotion. Your response is calculated, grounded, and free from emotional outbursts. This kind of composure is rare, and people respect it deeply, even if they don't admit it. Insults often come from people who are struggling within themselves. When someone tries to put you down, it's often a reflection of their own pain, insecurity, or ego. If you react emotionally, they win. They've pulled you down to their level. But if you remain still, like a rock in a storm, you show that their words are meaningless. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, wrote, "Choose not to be harmed, and you won't feel harmed. Don't feel harmed, and you haven't been." That's the kind of inner control the Stoics aimed for. When you stop assigning meaning to every criticism, you become untouchable. Stoicism teaches that your peace of mind should never be at the mercy of someone else's behavior. You cannot control the actions of others, but you can control your perception and reaction. The moment you decide that insults are just noise, they lose their power. And in doing so, you gain respect, not only from others, but from yourself. Indifference is not weakness. It's wisdom, the ability to remain calm, unaffected, and in control in the face of disrespect is one of the greatest strengths a person can develop. 3. Live with virtue, not for validation. A Stoic lives by inner principles: wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. When you align with virtue, you stop needing external approval, and people are naturally drawn to respect your unshakable character. The Stoic path is rooted in living a life of virtue, not in seeking praise, popularity, or the approval of others. When you build your life on the foundation of virtue, wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance, you no longer need validation from the outside world. This is a powerful shift, because the person who is not desperate for recognition is the one who gains true respect. The Stoics understood that people are naturally drawn to those who are consistent, grounded, and principle-driven. When your actions come from your values instead of a desire to impress, your presence commands silent admiration. Marcus Aurelius wrote that a good person is like a rock. The waves crash against it, and it remains unmoved. That kind of person does not bend to fit in or chase popularity. They do what's right, even when no one is watching. They speak with honesty, act with fairness, and control their desires. In today's world, where so many are obsessed with image and external status, someone who lives by inner values stands out without even trying. People respect those who remain true to themselves regardless of trends, pressures, or judgment. Living for validation is a dangerous trap. When you rely on others to feel worthy, your self-esteem becomes unstable. One insult or rejection can throw you off course. But when you measure yourself against your own standards, no one can shake you. Stoicism teaches that the goal is not to be liked, it's to be excellent in character. The Stoic doesn't ask, "Do they approve of me?" but instead asks, "Was I just? Was I disciplined? Was I honest?" These are the questions that lead to a life of quiet strength and unshakable self-worth. Ironically, the less you seek attention, the more attention you receive. People are naturally drawn to those who don't need them, who don't compete, and who radiate a calm sense of purpose. This is the paradox of Stoicism. The one who lives for virtue and not for applause ends up gaining the deepest respect. Not by demanding it, but by embodying it. Respect isn't something you chase. It's something you attract by who you are and how you live. And when you live with integrity, the world may not always agree with you, but they will know they cannot ignore you.